You heard when Greg Moore spoke earlier this evening about the work done by the Voter Fund in the year 2000. 2 million new voters brought to the polls. Voter turnout in Texas up 50%. Voter turnout in Florida up 60%. Black voter turnout in Missouri up 134%. And they were voting for a dead man, and the dead man won.
We imagine the possibilities for turning out historic and unprecedented numbers of African American voters and voters of a goodwill across the country committed to civil rights.
There will be electors who are going to try to discourage people from voting. And the more difficult it makes for low-income people, first-time voters, foreign language people, the better it is sometimes for people in the majority who want to keep it that way.
Just asking a young person to vote, just asking somebody between 18 and 25 to vote would increase turnout by 8 to 12 points.
But you're more likely to get us to just show up and vote if we can register the day that we're there.
Purging people for non-voting, intimidating voters at the polling place. There's an ongoing struggle to keep empowering our people, but there's an ongoing, well-funded struggle to stop that from happening.
Getting everybody the right to vote and getting everybody to vote is simply the right thing to do.
It is as much our fault as it is the government's fault for not getting propagated.
You don't have to register for the right to free speech. You don't have to register for the right to public assembly. You don't have to register for the right to gather and to express your religious beliefs, but you got to register for the right to vote. So you already start off with the provision that puts a roadblock between you and the right that you were born with.
Right. And then once you give them your name and everything, because we're really trying to help with some resources.
Rock the vote.
When you're recruiting, you recruit for the Army, you start recruiting students at 17, 16. You have the people going into the schools. The Army, we want you, we want you.
We need to start getting a little pissed off about this. And we need to start showing up and just saying, hey, you know, this is my voice and you're going to listen to it.
One of the things I think as politicians should do to help young people vote by recruiting them early at an earlier age. 6 months before their 18th birthday, you know, you give them something to think about in 6 months.
This nation and every state, particularly in the South, could be changed if there were a higher voter turnout of African American voters.
...2004 will be the first general national election since the debacle of 2000. It doesn't matter whether you are Republican or Democrat. The fact of the matter is that many Americans, particularly those that you serve the most, lost a lot of confidence in the electoral process because of what happened. Therefore, you're going to have to work even more strenuously and with more commitment than ever before to get people out to vote and to protect our right to vote.
When we talk about the numbers of minorities that have been locked out of this process, it really does become a civil rights issue.
There's a computer program which is zooming in on black voters and erasing their name from the voter file.
We are engaged in a campaign to register ex-offenders in states across the country. Our effort is to take these kind of legislative efforts, show them as models for other states, and begin to push the kind of reforms that will help get rid of the high and escalating number of disenfranchised Americans.
Why should the citizens of Maryland be treated differently than the citizens of Pennsylvania? Why should they be treated differently than in 38 other states?
This is a list of 57,000 criminals. Bad folk not allowed to vote.
As we watch issues of voting rights and future responsibilities, it's important to keep our eye on the significance of the federal court.
And this one caught my eye, like Thomas Cooper, who was shown as convicted on the 30th of January, 2007. Yeah.
Initiate the voter fund. I thank the board for the legacy of what we were able to do, and I applaud the work of Greg Moore and the wonderful staff for how he will carry this on and create the elections that can't be stolen in the future when the turnout is increased as it is.
The NAACP is the largest and the oldest, the baddest and the boldest, most loved, most hated, most feared and revered, of course most cussed and discussed civil rights organization in the world. And we have been tried, tested, and true with this thing that we do. And for folks to come in and hold us to a different standard, it doesn't reek of racism, it blatantly is.
The NAACP and the NAACP National Voter Fund is working very hard. We have launched our Empowerment 2004 campaign. And we're conducting massive voter registration in 11 key states. The NAACP is targeting another 13 states. So between the two of us, we're going to hit about 23 states in the next 6 months.
There's another election coming up in November. And once again, freedom is on the ballot. And unless you and you and you and you and the resources you've helped us raise tonight, unless we can maximize that effort, we're going to find that the majority is going to be beaten again. Don't let that happen. Thank you for coming.